Hey, what's going on, everybody? Chris Meany here of FTN, checking in with a few NHL Stat Hero picks for this evening, Monday, July 5th. If you're looking for more Stat Hero content, we have you covered over at FTNDaily.com. Free Stat Hero picks there every single day. Click the chat link up at the top of FTNDaily.com. It'll get you in our free Stat Hero Discord channel, where there are even more picks to consider across all the sports that you love. Stat Hero has it there for us. Use that promo code FTN, a 3-time deposit bonus using that promo code FTN. So, any questions, don't be afraid to hit me up or just tag an expert in the Discord channel. I know the guys are having a lot of success with MLB lineups and NBA lineups as well. So, Stat Hero is pretty fun, and it's not that hard. You don't have to compete against thousands of different lineups. It's just you versus them. Stat Hero, they come out with their lineup. Usually a couple that you can pick or choose, one here in the NHL. So if you're looking for more on how to play, I have a link inside the description of this video, Stat Hero 101, but it's basically your lineup against their lineup. It's exactly actually what it is. You just have to beat them. You don't have to worry about ownership, thousands of different lineups, and they have a projection there. Give you a little bit of feel of what they're rolling with here. This is their NHL lineup. Nikita Kucherov there as the MVP. Tampa is their team goalie. Corey Perry in there at wing. Tyler Johnson at center. Ben Sherratt at defense. Nicholas Suzuki at the center position. 57.9 projected points here. So I'm coming up with something very similar. I just want to touch on their lineup just for a second. Corey Perry, I think, is great. He's been productive here in the playoffs. A cheap little winger. Been rolling with him or Cole Caulfield in just about every single lineup here since the playoffs started. And Tyler Johnson, I don't really want them to get away with the Tyler Johnson call. We were on that in Game 3. It felt good. He had 2 goals. He's got 3 points here in the series. Alex Killorn is a game-time decision. You know, he filled in the second line in the top 6 role when Killorn didn't play in the last game and the game prior in Game 2. But he actually moved away from line 2 and played a little bit on line 4 where he had his second goal late in the game. But still, he's underpriced. He'll probably win you a couple faceoffs here. So I'm going to... Spoiler alert, I think I might have TJ in one of my lineups. Ben Sherratt in there at defense and Nick Suzuki, as I mentioned. So they're going with the strongest half. The Canadians have some adjustments here with some of their lines. Tonight they're keeping Suzuki with Cole Caulfield, and they're moving Tyler Toffoli up on that first line with Deneau and Gallagher, and then they're going to have Josh Anderson on that second line. It doesn't really change much for me. Maybe Toffoli could get going, and maybe that whole line, Gallagher, could get going possibly. But I think most of the offense that the Canadians are going to generate tonight, probably from Suzuki and Caulfield, and maybe a little bit from Perry playing on that first power play. But here's my lineup. I'm rolling with a couple that are the same here. Nikita Kucherov, I think Carey Price bounces back here a little bit. But I have a lineup with Tampa if you're not comfortable rolling out the Habs. But I'd rather roll out 3 Lightning forwards than three Hab forwards. Andre Palat in there at wing, Tyler Johnson as well. Alexander Romanov is going to make his first appearance here in the Stanley Cup playoffs, or in the finals, rather. He did play another game against Vegas. And then Philip Deneau, he actually played another one against the Leafs. Just not many, though. And then Philip Deneau in there as my flex. So this is my thinking. So Kucherov, how could you not? He's just crushing it. He's killing it. He's got 3 goals here in the series. He leads everybody in points. He's got more assists than the next guy in Braden Point. And it's all Tampa at the top of the scoring. It's Nikita Kucherov. It is Braden Point, 23 points, 32 for Kucherov. Stammer, Hedman got 18 each. Killorn, 17. And then Andre Palat, 13. If he finds a point here, all of a sudden he's inside the top 10 in scoring. So my reasoning for Palat is he's just been good. He's been undervalued. He's cheap here on Stat Hero. He's plus money to get a point here tonight in the NHL, plus 195 for an assist. He's got 4 points through 3 games, 1 in every single game, at least 2 shots in every game. He's been productive. He's been, I think, an X factor, honestly, in this series. He throws the body around. He's getting more power play time without Killorn. I don't know if Killorn's going to play, but his ice time has increased in 3 straight games here, and he's just playing with good players, and Kucherov and Point. So piggybacking off the Kucherov thing, if he finds the score sheet, most likely Point or most likely Palat does. And then Tyler Johnson, as I mentioned, I don't want them to get away with that play. I liked it. I saw where it was trending, where he was trending in this series. I'm rolling him out there. For Romanov, he may get some power play time. I don't expect him to play a ton here, but Sherratt's going to get more ice time. Maybe he blocks a couple more shots, but it's also possible that Romanov hits the score sheet here tonight. I think he may get some power play time, some of that Eric Gustafsson was getting. We'll see. It's just a cheap defenseman. And then Philip Deneau, this is a conservative play, but one I think as it comes with a solid floor. He's projected for 7.2 fantasy points. He's going to get that on faceoffs alone, just from his wins. 14 in Game 1, 14 in Game 2, 7 in Game 3. He's going to get a lot of ice time here tonight in a must-win situation. He's their best defensive forward. So Deneau Danault is going to just give me, I think, 10 points, just roughly 7. Like that's the floor, 7, but he's averaging like 10 here with the faceoff wins, and he scored in his last game. So I think this lineup is going to do all right. 56.5 fantasy points. The only difference here that I see is truly Suzuki. Swapping Suzuki for Danault, they're getting a little bit more offensive upside. I think the faceoffs will be similar. If not, I'll get more from Danault. And then Palat, I think, is a massive upgrade over Perry from a point standpoint. Here's the second one that I've come up with. And, just to touch on, as you see it, and it's very similar with Kucherov. I went with the Lightning team goalie, so I'm being more chalky here. Most likely a Tampa win. Romanov again at defense, Danault as well at center. So the swap would be coming off of Palat and going to Cole Caulfield, and then getting Yanni Gourde in there. So Yanni Gourde, he actually leads Tampa Bay in ice time at 5-5 here in this series. He's also a beast in the faceoff circle, so I'm banking on 10 faceoff wins. He's got roughly 30, just 25, I believe, in the 3 games. So I could get anywhere from 7 to 10 faceoff wins. And he's just been really good. I mean, he has scored a goal in game 1. And just looking overall from, the last game, Kucherov had the 8 shot attempts and Yanni Gourde had 5, which was second. Palat had 4, and Palat had the 2 points. Now, Yanni Gourde didn't find the score sheet. He had 2 shots, but he is second in this series among Tampa forwards in shot attempts at 5-on-5 with 11 expected goals. He's inside the top 4. Palat is 2. Johnson's 2. Palat's 3. Kucherov is 1. That's at 5-5. But Yanni Gourde also gets some power play time as well. So overall, he drops down the board a little bit in terms of shot attempts. He's tied for second with Johnson, but he doesn't drop down all that much. It's just Kucherov. The gap is a little bit wider between 1 and 2. So I'd like this here with Yanni Gourde and John Cooper. Trust this guy. You hear the term energy line. They start every period. They're going to start tonight, start the game off. It set the table for them early on in Game 3. I thought they were phenomenal in Game 1, where Yanni Gourde had the goal. Blake Coleman scores the goal in Game 2, and then he scores one in Game 3. So this line is playing pretty good. They're going to start every game, every period, and they just seem to set the table, and that's why you see Yanni Gourde up at the top in ice time. He plays in all situations. He really has the trust of John Cooper. So if you're just playing, let's copy with Kucherov. Let's just not worry about anything there. And then if you wanted to roll with the Tampa team goalie, that's a solid safe floor there, and also some safe floors with Yanni Gourde and Philip Danault in there. So again, I always say have some fun with it. Any questions, don't be afraid to hit me up. FTN is the promo code to use. And again, jump in that Discord channel because the guys are killing it. I mean, Joe Metz is killing it. Mike Montgomery, baseball winning lineups. Queisenberg, DFS, NBA winning lineups. I'm seeing the tweets. I'm seeing the green screens. I'm seeing the success. And again, with that promo code, using that promo code FTN, there's a good chance here to win some cash. So my favorite is the one that I showed you first. Just to recap here, Kucherov, Habs team goalie, Palat, Tyler Johnson, Romanov, and Philip Danault. I think we'll see a big game from Palat. All right, enjoy. We'll talk to you soon. Cheers.